Hi folks, it's time for another Truck and Trailer Tuesday, but we're pretty busy. But just to keep with the theme, let me show you Jimmy's cargo trailer. This is the first time I've ever really used an enclosed cargo trailer, and that's really nice. Don't have to tie stuff down near as tight. It's been fabulous for our move so far. We're not going to show you much of it because we've got another theme we want to hit today, but I just thought I'd give you a quick look. The door on this is spring loaded. It's really like a garage door spring right at the top, and that makes it really nice. Now this is not a new trailer by far, but incredibly functional. And our load made it mostly intact. Jimmy said this was a 16-foot trailer. I haven't measured it, so we'll have to take his word for it. Okay. Enough trailer. We want to show you something else. We're going to take a look inside our pole barn. First thing you notice, no light. Well, at least not much. The next thing you notice, manual door. The next thing you notice, insufficient spring.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the theme here that we're going to talk about in this pole barn. This thing has a lot of potential, and we're really thankful to have it. So please don't misunderstand the tone of this episode. Rather, what we're trying to show you is some of the new projects that we've got to work on in here. So again, we're not complaining about the pole barn. We're just saying some things that we need to work on and projects that we're going to bring you guys along on as we figure them out and decide how to solve them. So they listed it as 54 by 36. We haven't measured it yet. So for now, we'll take their word for it. We have detected some oddities in the building. The post along the back wall, we began to measure the spread, and every one of them is different. It's sort of like they just put a post wherever they wanted to. I suppose that means that the trusses here are not consistently spaced either, which I find a little bit odd. But I don't think it'll hurt the structural quality. It's just going to make it a little hard to enclose because we'll have to measure everything real close. For all the things we're going to talk about, we'd love to have your comments. What do you think we should do? We actually had one family member say that we should just tear this thing down and start over. You see, our plans are to fully insulate, heat and cool this building just like we did our smaller one over in Carmel. And that will require a huge investment. His idea was that since we were going to be putting so much money into the building, that some of the issues we're seeing here today, we might as well just start over, that it really wouldn't cost that much more, and we might have a building that was more attractive on the outside and maybe just a little bit more suitable to our needs. For my calculations, it would be $30,000 or so to tear this down and start over. So I think we're going to try to make do with what we've got here. So let's see some of the items that, well, need some repair. Now this section over here, I think it was built for horse stalls. There's concrete over most of the building, but there's a section, I believe I measured about 14 feet that, well, it's got mulch on top of it. Maybe it's a good time for us to dig down and see.
Are you trying to find gold?
I think so. That's got like 6 inches of mulch on it before we get to soil. And then it does just appear to be soil, not rock or anything like that. Over here we've got a sliding door that doesn't slide. And not only does it not slide, it's kind of rotten. The whole door is really not structurally sound anymore. Now I hope you can see this. I know it's really shadowy. Again, lights is one of the first things we'll have to work on. But this door here, it's down in the dirt, down in the mud. There's been some water that's been allowed to come in here. It's rotted up here. It's a plywood style door. Overall, I think it's not what we're looking for in a door. It would be hard to heat and cool this facility with these big cracks. There's, as you can see, about 1 inch here. So we're going to have to do some work on that. So I believe this is a little over 10 foot wide here, this opening. What I thought we might do is go all the way up to here, the tip of my shovel, with another roll-up door. With that style approach, we could have a roll-up door, maybe even taller than the one in front for big equipment or tall equipment. It would be kind of narrow, but it would be wide enough for anything that could travel down the road. So that was one thought on how to handle this doorway. So I'm open to your ideas on how to handle this doorway. We want to get it sealed tight, keep the cold air and the hot air separated for the different seasons. The roll-up door approach is my first idea, but we'll see. Here we are on the outside of that door, and as you can tell, it's not been open for quite some time. The ground is much higher than the door. I really don't know how long it's been since it's been open, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Now this building was constructed in 1998, or at least the concrete was poured in 1998, because I saw someone had written it in the concrete. Okay, this is my largest concern right here. Let me just state that if I'm building a building, I will never put a post in direct ground contact again. Someone asked me about digging a post hole this week, how large a post hole to dig to put a post in. And my response was really surrounding what I had seen here and what I've seen on my dad's building and many other buildings. Now for our building in Carmel, we used post protectors. They're a kind of a plastic shield that you put around the post before you bury it. And that'll keep it from rotting. But this one doesn't have that. We were able to jam a screwdriver in there more than an inch on this particular post. Haven't tried any of the other posts. But I'm unwilling to put a huge investment on the inside of this building unless and until we can get this situation solved. Otherwise, within 10, maybe 15 years max, this building will start to settle down, and that's just not going to be good at all. So this is an area that must be solved. If we can't find a good solution for this, we'll have no choice but to start over with a building. I'm simply not going to invest a lot on insulation, ceiling, lighting, shelving without having what I know is a foundation that's going to last as long as I do anyway. If you have any ideas on how to solve this, let me know in the comments section. So when we first found out about this particular rotting situation, we looked a little bit online, and I found a place called Strongway Systems, I believe. They have what they call the Strong Sleeve, and it's a steel sleeve that wraps around this post. We're going to check those out in more depth and see if it's a suitable solution for our problem. If you have any other solutions, any ideas, groups that you've used or seen used to solve a rotting post issue, we'd love to hear them. Put them in the comments section below, and we really appreciate that. So we talked about the lighting briefly, but we are looking for lighting solutions. We're pretty sure that we want LED lights, and we're pretty sure we want them up next to the ceiling. There is no ceiling yet, but we are going to want some sort of lighting solution along our ceiling. If you've got specific ideas on that, please let us know in the comments as well. We're going to have a full comment section, aren't we? Okay, about the ceiling. We really liked the ceiling we put in our Carmel shed. The steel siding or roofing that we put in our Carmel shed worked really well for us. It allowed us to put in bat insulation over the top of it. Not bats for insulation, Christy.
I didn't want bats in my barn.
Yeah, well, we put in fiberglass insulation that came in 4-foot lengths.
Right.
Why do they call them bats? Anyway, it worked really well for our ceiling in Carmel, so I think we want to try to do that again. We're also going to want to insulate the walls. We can't do that until we get a solution for all these posts that we talked about. But we're kind of looking at the spray foam insulation to see if that's cost effective for us. Any experience on that? Likewise, put it in the comments section. And I think we're going to have to do some more electrical work. There's plenty of service out here. Let's look it over. We have a 100 amp main breaker here. So there's 100 amps of service. We probably need to check the wire size, make sure it was up for that, but I'm pretty sure it is. The wiring looks reasonable, looks sound out here. We do have a couple of 240 volt outlets right here with different style plugs on them. So I think we'll be okay. I noticed that this one's got a 30 amp breaker, so it's not quite enough for our welder. But with 100 amp service, we should have plenty of electrical capacity to be able to handle that welder. We do have a workbench. I believe it's permanently attached over here. If we have anything done with these posts, we'll probably have to detach it and remove it. Which brings up a little broader issue. If we do have to work with these posts in the concrete area, we'll probably have to break or saw around the concrete to work with them. That is, unless you guys have a great solution for us. So the rafters appear to be about 12 feet high. Maybe not quite 12 feet. The door over there is probably 10 foot high. I think we could put a 12 foot perhaps in the end if we needed to. We do have some mice in here. We've got to work on that. It's one thing to actually try to get rid of the mice you have, but over the longer term, we really want to try to make it more mouse-proof, provide them less ability to enter. It's almost impossible to make a building completely mouse-proof like this, especially with garage doors, because there's always room for them to squeeze in. We saw a video. I actually subscribed to this guy named Matthias Wandel, and he's got several videos where he shows how small an opening that a mouse can get through. You ought to check those out. We'll put a card to one of those videos up here in the corner and maybe even in the end screen. You'll have to go check them out. We're mesmerized watching these mice go through these tiny holes. Christy, I got one for you. You got to get up there and clean out them gutters.
Me?
Yeah.
It's your shed.
Yeah, but the gutters need to be cleaned. So, you know, that's your job.
Can't you do that with Johnny somehow?
Yeah, we need to figure out how to get up there and get those gutters cleaned out, don't we?
Yeah, I think they're growing sprouts.
Now our driveway is just not quite wide enough for us. It would be nice if we could turn around back here. It would also be nice if we could get to the side of the trailer with Johnny without getting off the rock. So I think we're gonna have to put in a lot more rock back here. Even more so if we put a door on that far end that we have access to, we'll need to put some more rock in there. Those all sound like good projects to me. Folks, I just want to be clear. We are incredibly thankful to have this property, to have this building. We've shown you some of the items that need improvement, not because we're dissatisfied or discontent at all. In fact, this is more than we could have ever dreamed of. There's really no question about that. But I do want to point out some of the issues. I suspect some of you guys are facing some similar issues. And we think it's an opportunity that we can bring you along as we try to improve it. We couldn't afford something that was perfect. We couldn't even afford a bare property where we built our own perfection. It was just too expensive for us. So this is actually an opportunity where we can work together with the help of you guys, and you can see it a little bit at a time and see the improvements. And hopefully in a year or two, it won't be next episode. Remember, it doesn't move that fast. But hopefully over time, you'll see things improve and get better. And eventually we'll have a really nice video studio as well as an equipment storage facility. So I really appreciate you coming along for the ride. Be sure to take a look at our website. Push the subscribe button. Ding that little bell right beside the subscribe button. And we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.
When are we getting our golf cart?
It'd be fine, wouldn't it? Golf car, maybe a Gator
Yeah.
or Kubota side by side.
Yeah.
I'm excited.